Hi guys, going for something a little bit different for this week's blog. So I am actually doing a vlog rather than you reading my words, you can hear me speaking them. Really wanted to do something a little bit more based, sort of taken from last week's blog post, which was all about teen well-being, which had massive feedback from all of you guys. So looking at, once again, our stress management following National Stress Awareness Day this week, and looking at how it's really important for us as parents to be role modelling for our kids. So if we can put stress management processes in place, then we can encourage our kids to do the same. And they don't really need to think of them, and I wouldn't suggest that they think of them as stress management. I'd just call it teen power, teen tools for teens. Ways of making sure that our teens are in as good a place as they can mentally. And the same for us, of course. The reason for the emphasis on the teens is because if you look at the statistics at the moment for mental well-being, mental health issues, more specifically for self-harm in young teenage girls and suicide in teenage boys, are horrendous. And what I'm trying to encourage here is that we can find ways to put things in place so that we preempt that and we put our kids in a better place to start with. So it's about finding these tools. It's about admitting that we all have physical health, we know, but we all have mental health too, and we have to look after it. Just as we would take a pill or a vitamin supplement or watch our diet and our exercise for our physical health, we've got to put things in place for our mental health as well. It's just as important. In fact, it's possibly even more important in today's world when we have all this overstimulation, whether that's from tech, I'll go on about tech overload again, or whether it's from just daily life. You know, for us as parents, it's either trying to juggle a job and parenting, or for those of us that are perhaps stay-at-home mums, I love that expression. What mum do you know that actually stays at home? Mums that aren't working as such are working so hard at looking after their kids, at rallying them from here to there, running them around, trying to fit in everything. Whether it's that or a high-powered corporate job, our lives are so full on and we need to put things in place to just bring things down a little bit. If we can do that for ourselves and we make it visible to our kids that we're doing these things, they can do the same. We're leading by example and we are encouraging our kids to put certain strategies in place that can then serve them for life. That is the point here. These are lifelong tools that they can then use moving forwards. So there's all sorts of things that we could put in place, but the absolute simplest things that I can tell you, the absolute simplest is breathing. Been here before, we've discussed this before. In very simple terms, when we get stressed about something, it invokes the body's stress response. Now, this is a primitive response. It's from way back when, from when we were designed, when we were created. And in those primitive times, the stress that we would have been trying to avoid would have been something like running away from a tiger. Therefore, our stress response helps us to do that by releasing adrenaline, by making our heart pump faster and our blood run around faster, giving our muscles the ability to clench faster and stronger, making our thinking quicken. So all of these things are fabulous for running away from a tiger, for saving ourselves, for protecting ourselves. The problem is, our body doesn't understand the difference between running away from a tiger and running late for a meeting or worrying about homework. Any of those stressful situations will bring on that same stress response, that physiological response. So that's why if you're getting stressed about sitting in traffic and running late, or if your daughter or son is getting stressed about friendships or homework or whatever, all those reactions are still going to happen. The best way the simplest way that we can get on top of that is by breathing, slow, deep breathing. It's in fact what our body does during or following the stress response. If you are being chased by a tiger, there are two possible outcomes. Either the tiger gets you, game over, finished, or you run and run and run and you manage to get away. You end up in your den or your cave and you slowly come back down to normal. And that is actually your relaxation response, your body's way of bringing you back to where you need to. And the most important part of that is slowing the breathing. As you slow the breathing, then that brings on various other reactions. That's what we are doing when we practice deep abdominal breathing. It is so simple. You breathe slowly and consciously into the tummy to really get the breathing deep as you can daily. 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day. Do it yourself and get your kids to do it with you or separately, but get them breathing. They can put their favourite music on in the background, maybe not their favourite, some calming music on in the background. They can do it with a candle, with a diffuser. They can make it a bit of nice me time, but get them to breathe. If you're not sure about belly breathing, there is a video on my site to talk you through it, and there's also an audio guide. So once you're underway, you can pop the audio guide on each time and it will talk you through and remind you what you're trying to achieve. If you do this daily, it will start to bring your stress levels down anyway, but will also give you the chance of getting in control of stressful moments. Because what you'll find is the more you understand how to achieve belly breathing, the more you can call on that as a technique during stressful moments. So you can feel the stress building up, the kids are starting to kick off again, and you're really tired and you really have had enough. Bring yourself back down to earth with some breathing. Same for the kids. They're stressed about an exam. They're worried. They're anxious. Teach them to breathe at that moment and it will bring them back down. It will just relax everything. It is so, so powerful, yet so simple. One other thing I want you to get your teens and yourselves doing every day is journaling. A gratitude journal, turning things around so that you're seeing the good in stuff is so powerful. It's powerful for us. It's all about the law of attraction and negativity breeds negativity. So let's not skim past that one. The law of attraction says that what you put out there in the world is what you'll bring back to you in very simple terms. So if you are grateful and feeling good and feeling positive about stuff, you'll attract more of that. And equally, and we all know this one, if you're in the opposite place, if you're feeling really negative, really crap about stuff, negativity breeds negativity. If you're feeling like that about stuff, it will just spiral. And that is even more true for our kids in the teenage years. They've got all this pressure going on. They've got their peer awareness. They've got gaming and social media and all of that I get wound up about. They've got so much going on, and it's so easy if it starts to feel negative for that negativity to just spiral, and that's when we can get into really deep water in terms of mental health. So, gratitude journal, so simple. They can choose, you can choose, and they can choose whether to do this in the morning to start off their day or at the night as a positive way to end the day. Either way, you're going to think of 3 things to be grateful for. Simple as that. It might be, I'm grateful for the food that's on the table because I know some people don't have that. You know, that's a luxury for some people. Or it may be, I'm grateful for my best friend who is always there for me. Even when everyone else is being really horrid, my best friend is there and I can count on him or her. And number 3 could be, I'm grateful for my cat because I love snuggling in with my cat. It can be anything, but it's got to be heartfelt. It's got to be things that you really do feel good about. And on a bad day, that's when the power really comes in. If you've had a really bad day and you think, well, what can I be grateful about? Sit down, think about it. There's always something to be grateful for. And I give you my word, if you can think it through that way, turn things on their head and see the positives, it is so, so powerful for your whole mood, for your whole day in front of you. Give it a go. Try doing it. 5 or 10 minutes of belly breathing a day. Gratitude journal either morning or night. Get into the habit. They're nice things to do. You're not trying to get your kids to do their homework. You're trying to get them to do 2 things that are actually quite nice if they just put them into their lives. So, so powerful. If you'd like a bit more help with it, do pop over to the website. On my homepage, there's a free guide called 7 Days to Stress Less. And it takes you through a step-by-step process which will get you to start that daily breathing and the journaling. There's some more detail in there, so you'll get more than you've had on the video. Also talk through mindfulness and meditation, which are so, so powerful. I would say if your kids can start with the deep breathing, it's a fabulous way to then slowly get them underway with either meditation or a mindfulness practice, both of which are so, so powerful for our own mental health and for our kids. And once again, I'm going to say it, we all have physical health and we all have mental health too. It can be good mental health or not so good mental health, same as our physical health, and we've got to help it along a little bit. That's all I'm saying. Let's put these processes in place so that we can start our kids on a good road for actually dealing with what might come along later on. It doesn't have to be overwhelming and drowning in it. We can actually help them to help themselves now in the teenage or pre-teenage years, and they will set themselves up for life. They are such powerful tools that they can use moving forwards. You won't regret it. They're nice things to do. They're fab. They're great. Please go on, give it a go. Thanks for listening. See you soon. Bye-bye.